Right, this is like the third take. Yeah, we let Matt touch the fucking phone. We were talking about Matt being a hippie, and because he is a massive hippie. Like Matt would love to live in the woods.
I would really, oh, here you go. House or boat?
So I'd like to say a boat, but
you would
the
never be happy on a
practical
boat.
side of me, I mean, Jude 100% would end up in the water. 100%. Like, fucking, he would be face diving.
Then
into
he'd
the
probably
water.
swim the channel.
Jude's
or
my
something,
son, for those of you that don't know.
Then he'd probably just end up like swimming the channel or something.
And Gemma would definitely end up throwing me in the water. So neither of them worked for me. But having said that, I went paddleboarding with my wife for our anniversary, because we're cool like that, down Camden Lock. Fucking hell, guys, man. If you want to go and do something really cool, Camden Lock, you go down the back of London Zoo, you can see like the fucking animals on it. It's insanely amazing.
The pictures
really
are cool
good.
too,
Yeah. It's fucking really cool. Really cool place, man. So, highly recommend that. But what would you would live on a boat, wouldn't you?
I'd live in a boat or a treehouse. That's the only goal.
Fucking treehouse.
Why not?
No, I'll get you.
Do you know what I mean? I would really be happy to wake up every day. And,
yeah, but you like to shave your balls. Where would you shave your balls? In a puddle somewhere in the forest.
No, I think I'd let it all go then.
Oh, like like Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Yeah, it's just let it all
fuck, no, man. No.
Let it flow.
Oh, mate, do you know what I did see?
Come on.
Is, you've got to watch this on fucking TV, is, who's the SAS guy? And
Middleton.
Mate, he done Everest.
Yeah.
Have you watched that documentary?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
So good.
The only reason I'm thinking about it is because I thought beard led into it, right? If you want to watch, I mean, I've got to hand it to this guy.
The queue on the way out.
Mate, yeah, that's exactly it. I watched it last night with Gemma. We're like, gee, like, I love the idea of doing Everest, but I don't like being cold, so it's definitely not for me. But I'm well up for doing Kilimanjaro. If anyone's up for that, let me know. I'm well up for Kilimanjaro. But he goes and does Everest, and if he wasn't SAS, like he's ex-SAS. If he was an ex-SAS, he would 100% be fucking dead.
Yeah.
But he was just, he's an amazing guy. He's a really amazing guy.
But the bit about the queue is the fact that he climbed Everest and he got to the top, and then it was like a big storm, wasn't it? And he had to get down.
Yeah.
But because it's quite busy actually getting up to Everest now, there was a queue of people and he only had a certain amount of hours or something, and he was calculating the amount of people that were in the queue to get down. He was like...
He was in the death zone for 24 hours. Yeah. No one's ever been in the death zone. He was in the 20... And 3 people died on his way down. He left the Sherpa there, didn't he? The Sherpa was trying to get him.
These Sherpas? What the fuck?
Mate, they carry the fuckers on their heads.
Like walking around Everest.
Insane.
Like you just stay at the national park.
Yeah. Did you know you burn 20,000 calories getting from base camp 4 to the top of the summit? Do you know the distance? 1/4 mile. Fuck. It's insane, isn't it? Fucking insane, mate. It takes them a day to do 100 metres. Crazy. Anyway, right, so leads us on to a great subject. So we've got the CrossFit Games. Starts today, Wednesday, starts today. So the CrossFit Games is, well, first of all, you guys will know the Open because all the boxes do the Open. So any decent box will be holding the Open, which means everybody can compete doing the workouts that are allocated every Thursday. You do those workouts, and the top of the top of the top, and I'm talking the extreme amazing bunch, get to go to the CrossFit Games, right?
Well, there's a lot more this year.
There's a 150, yeah, 150. So you're talking about, and it's brilliant to watch CrossFit Games, and I'll tell you why. Because we program at Phobos, I'm one of the owners of Phobos, and we program for as if we got a games athlete in the room. So we program for the best and scout for the rest. So when you see workouts, and I'm like, guys, scout this workout, it's because this is how I would expect like a Matt Fraser or a Fronin to be doing these workouts and on these time caps. You scout accordingly. So it is 100% fucking humbling. I mean, you have got to be the most amazing CrossFitter just to be in the fucking audience, right? You've got to realise how amazing you've got to be just to be shit at CrossFit. I mean, honestly, it's incredible. These guys are the fittest women and men on the planet. But if you want to see extreme, amazing, the fittest people, you watch the games, and it is fucking mind-blowing, insanely mind-blowing.
It's such an experience when you get there.
You've been to the games, haven't you? Yeah.
3 times.
3 times you've taken out. You've done the nutrition for Briggs. Who else did you do?
Sarah Sigmund's daughter, Bjorven, Steve Fawcett, Phil Hesketh, Jamie Green, Elliot Simmons, Lauren Fisher.
Anyway, so he's been to the...
been a few times. Got
been to
podium
the
3
games.
years on the trot.
Yeah, I'd fucking love to go.
But either way, it's amazing. Like it's an unbelievable experience. But it's a little bit like the Olympics. Like at the end of the day, these people, they dedicate their lives to do it, and being part of their journey for like the last 5-6 years was unbelievable, because you see how much dedication it actually takes to achieve what they do, and you realise that we as CrossFitters are a little bit like Sunday football people.
Oh, fuck it.
And we turn up and we go and play, we enjoy ourselves and all the rest of it. I think that's a little bit why, when this time of the year comes around, it's so special, because you get to see what it is actually like. And sometimes when you see some of the programming, you go, so there was a D-ball over the shoulder burpee, D-ball over the shoulder box jump over on a Saturday night lights when it was in Carson, in LA, and it was, I've never buzzed so much in my life, and it was something like 30, 20, 10, 5, the D-balls over the shoulder and jumping over the box, and it was electric, and I was like, I could do that workout 100%. And I think Sam Dancer won it, and I remember I did it the next day before we went back for the finals, and I was like 3 minutes off their time, and this is like a 3-minute workout for them, and you just like,
it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's so humbling, because you go, I'm not actually that shit. Like I'm okay at what I do.
Yeah.
But these guys are legit doing
there is
the special stuff.
Like if you went to an Olympian, I'm at the CrossFit Games, they would just, any Olympian of any league would go, fuck. Like it is a completely different kettle of fish. 100%. Because they've got 101 movements they need to be the best at. So.
But yeah, so for people who don't really know what it is, it started in 2007, and it was started in the ranch, which was a completely different scenario as what it is now. Because I mean, when I was there, it was in Carson, which was like from the ranch, it moved into a football stadium and into a tennis stadium, and it was quite cool. And then it moved to Madison, and Madison is just unbelievable. It's a university where they've got a campus of, fields, assault courses, football stadiums, tennis stadiums, and all this like lakes and everything else. So to watch it is truly unbelievable. And this weekend, everybody should get behind it and definitely turn it on.
Definitely watch it, because it's great to see, even if you're playing tennis, if you're doing anything, you would watch Wimbledon. If you were, playing golf, you'd watch the Open, and you'd watch, And this is these are the elite, the best of the best, doing what you guys do the most, and that's what you love the most, and that's CrossFit. So.
But what I think is quite interesting, obviously being in CrossFit for such a long time, and then being in the competitive world that I was in, seeing now the difference. Because Hayley Adams is 18 years old, has started CrossFit from a very, very young age. She's already qualified for the games. She qualified in 30th or something.
See, I'd like a little
She actually qualified in the Open.
to go to the games.
But that's it, isn't it? Because I would love to have started CrossFit when I was like 10 and been able to kind of carry it through and all the rest of it. But she's been able to do that. And now Hayley Adams is... literally, she's going to be the star of the future, but we're going to be able to see her come through and go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see her journey.
Yeah. Which I think is so.
She's got like a 120 snatch, isn't she?
Oh mate, it's not that heavy, but it's mental what she's achieving.
Insane,
yeah,
right? Insane. Cool. So 100% go and watch it. Spend your time watching it, and watch how people move. Look at the standards. Look at what's expected, and that is the perfect form you will ever see. Is when these guys are going at it, and these guys are
they have
working.
to,
yeah, they have to be in perfect.
Unlike back in the day, there's some really good pictures of the cat shots. There's a deadlift in the ranch.
Oh mate,
and there's these pictures of those people like. Ready, steady.
Yeah, he's fucking disgusting, right? Yeah. So when it first started out, the movement standards, he was just really fit people, and that, trying to do these workouts that were programmed for him. But he's completely changed now. He's completely changed. The money's bigger, so therefore there's a lot more.
Porsche sponsored it.
Porsche sponsored it. Yeah,
and they're giving everybody a Porsche.
Fuck.
What fucking CrossFitter like knows about a Porsche. We train in sheds.
Yeah, man.
Give them some knee
100%.
sleeves. They'd have been more.
Fuck
they'd
yeah.
been happier
Fuck
with
yeah.
knee sleeves, but.
So the games is on. Go and watch it. 100% get behind it and enjoy it, and really just take on board. Exactly, be humbled by it.
And for everybody in the Phobos, if you want to do a workout like this programmed by the games, let us know, and maybe we can do that on Team WOD or something like that.
Yeah,
and you can actually
100%.
see the difference between you and Matt Fraser.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great. It's a great way of doing things. A wicked way of doing things. Right, mate. We've had a couple of questions. Are we done on the games?
Yeah, I think so.
We're done speaking about the games. We've got some really interesting shit coming through from our subscribers. Are they called subscribers?
So we asked, yeah, they are, yeah.
Yes, we asked out. Sorry, go on, man.
No, you finish.
So we asked out, we ask our members in particular, what do you want to know about? Tell me what questions you got. Let's fire for it and let's answer it. So let's talk about Dave the Rave.
Biggie D.
Biggie D. Dave
He's
the
actually
Rave.
called Cobra now. So he bought. Have you seen these? No, have you seen these?
No.
If Dave's watching, if anybody from my class yesterday is watching, you'll understand why I think this is so funny. So he's got some wrist straps.
I've fucking seen them.
So he's bought,
Mate, they like suede.
so he's bought these wrist straps, and he comes in, bearing in mind yesterday was rowing wall balls.
He's starting to wear them, isn't he?
And he's got them on when he's doing burpees.
He's starting to wear them.
He's like, I'm breaking them in.
It's like
And
when you
they've
get
got
lifters and there's no Olympic lift for 2 weeks. You're like, fuck, I'll just do deadlifting lifters.
Helen, when she ran the block in her lift.
Who did? Helen Byrne?
Helen.
Fucking Helen Byrne. Bless that woman, I love her.
No, so
Did she really?
Yeah. She
Fucking
come in.
brilliant.
She came in the next
Exactly.
day and she's like, "Oh, I've really hurt my Achilles." I said, "Well, how have you done that?" She goes, "Well, I ran the block in my lifters. I don't think it was the best idea." You can imagine just hearing the click. Yeah, but anyway,
Cobra. So two questions from Cobra Dave. Oh motherfucker, sorry about that, low battery. 2 questions from Cobra Dave. First of all, what one supplement would you recommend? Good question, Dave the Rave. What about you? Magic mushrooms, hippie man?
Fish oil.
Omega 3.
Good quality fish oil.
Yeah.
Like, so don't, if you can't be doing with spending money on supplements, don't get supplements. Fish oil, you can get Nordic fish oil from Amazon. It's like 30 quid. Comes in a bottle, you put it in your fridge and it remains active. Fish oil is an active product where it reacts with sunlight, reacts with heat, and it has a sell-by date. So when you go into Holland and Barrett and it's sat in the window and it's a pound a tub, I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
Because that's crude oil, but then it's just shit. But to get good quality fish oil changes people's lives. Ligaments, joints, tendons. Also with boys, testosterone. There's so many amazing benefits to it. But if you eat a lot of fish, it's good, but it's not going to be the same as if you actually supplement with that. So that's what I'd recommend.
Yeah, fish oil is a game changer. For me, 100% CBD oil. I fucking rave about that shit.
Calls me hippie.
Mate, CBD oil, everyone's worried because they think they're going to get stoned on it. You're honestly not. You don't know you're taking it. It helps me sleep. I ache. Because of my mobility, I have to fight for certain positions, which means my body is constantly fucking aching because it's getting into really tight situations. CBD oil has changed my squat. It's a muscle relaxant. You don't even know that you've taken it. You're not going to fucking get the munchies and shit. It's not how it works. It's just from the same plant. It, for me, is 100% a game changer. But people need to do their own homework on it. But the stuff I get is 75 quid for like a pot like that. And it's incredible. It's completely changed my life 100%. So I highly recommend that. Also, Dave the Rave has asked, can I get big doing CrossFit? Have you seen Dave's arms?
Well, it's because he's really small. This guy has fucking 18, 19 inch arms.
Yeah, look, right, so this is a really interesting
Naturally,
subject,
just
right? Is because
turned up one day with these.
Here's the thing, is like, what do you call big? Right, so would you say me and Matt were small guys? Definitely not, but all we do is CrossFit. So, you know, I wouldn't say we're the biggest guys in the world, but we have a different, CrossFitters have a different look. It's a different kind of big. Now, remember, you're going to be ectomorph, mesomorph, or endomorph, right? So they're your three. So ecto is of a very slim frame. Mesomorph is of an athletic frame, and endomorph is of a bigger frame, right? So usually, say for example, ectomorph is very common in Eastern Europe. Mesomorph is very Caribbean, very European. Endomorph is very African. So if you're looking at genetics, that's the kind of thing that you would look at. It doesn't come down to just your eating, it also comes down to your genetics. But what you're talking about is you're working your whole body continuously. Now, let's say, for example, if you went to the gym and you saw, I always call blokes in the gym Keith, right? And you got Keith, and he does these isolated movements with his arms, and he's got these massive fucking arms, this huge chest, big fucking gut, and these skinny fucking legs. The thing is when you CrossFit, you're going to be in complete proportion. So we all kind of look the same, I think. But dependent on whether you're ecto, meso, or endomorph, is dependent on how you're going to look around that frame. So can you get big? Well, how big do you want to be? What do you call big?
But also, sorry, I've lost not loads of weight, but quite a bit of weight coming into CrossFit over the last 5-6 years, and definitely getting smaller, but way more mobile. Like, enjoy life way more, fitter, healthier, all of that stuff. Which I think personally, when you start asking questions like about, you know, getting big and how sick can my abs look and all the rest of it, when you forget about all of that stuff and you start following the simple CrossFit kind of mentality of just eating healthy 90% of the time, training hard for an hour with good intensity every day, like all of that stuff becomes way more important than have I got.
Yeah, the aesthetic is the after.
Byproduct.
Yeah, it's the byproduct of what we fucking do. But to answer your question as well is like, well, how big do you want to be and why do you want to be big? So what do you call big? And actually, this is a really interesting subject for women as well, because I always touch on this. There's a lot of girls that are afraid that they're going to become super fucking muscly by CrossFitting, right? Which is like, literally, you would need to train. You see how them girls are at CrossFit Games, which is what people go off of. You would need to train 9 till 5. You have very small amount of testosterone in your body, so you can't gain muscle anyway. Like, it's so hard for you to gain muscle mass. You'd have to be eating like 5,000 fucking calories a day for you to get anywhere near. I mean, my wife was GB Olympic lifter, and she was training 3 times a day. And yeah, she was muscular, very vascular, but nowhere near fucking like Archimedes, you know. She wasn't fucking hench. But the athletes that you see that are boom, they do this for a living. It's so hard to get that size, so hard.
So I don't think I'm small.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I think I'm like a averagely decent size. Look what I met at the weekend. Like, what happened to me? And what?
Like a kid.
He's lost 70 kilos. Terry Holland lost 70 kilos, and he's still that big.
He's still a fucking unit.
Unbelievable. Sorry.
So the answer is, if you want to be a big muscle-bound man, CrossFit is not your bag, bro. But if you don't want to be able to wipe your arse, then definitely go and get big and hench. But if you want to be practical, you want to be functional, and you want to be of a great shape, then
it's quite cool to be able to do handstand walks with your kids as well, isn't it?
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to play with my niece and
mate, do you want the men's health body or do you want the Arnold Schwarzenegger body? And I could actually argue, if you trained enough and right, you could get an Arnold Schwarzenegger body from CrossFit 100%. Yeah. But good question, Dave the Rave. Using a knee or a belt support while you train. What's your views on that? What say you?
I wear them all the time, just because I'm getting a bit older and I want to look after my body. And I think that personally, those are the sort of things. I want to compete maybe again in the next couple of years, but I think for generally looking after my ligaments, joints, and tendons, they're massively helpful.
So I'm with Matt on a certain bit, but also I'm a little bit like, I don't want to stick a plaster on a wound, on a massive gash. So from my side, if I was going for my strength pieces, like big 1RMs, heavy lifts, then I would definitely wear knee sleeves, right? And I find they're a massive benefit. Alex Phillips as well, 100% big benefit. But at the same point, I don't want to be wearing them all the time. Just when I'm doing a workout, I don't want to be wearing knee sleeves, because I think you also need to make sure that your knees are getting that functional movements and they're moving around and they're starting to understand that you don't want to be reliant on a knee sleeve.
Like, you're not going to wear them when you're running, though.
Yeah, I never wear a belt, ever. But not saying that's, I've never worn one, I never will wear one. It's very rare you'll see me ever wear a belt. Gemma, if she goes really heavy, will wear a belt, especially since she's had a baby. So if you use it for heavy stuff, I think you should use it. For day-to-day functionality, I think the idea of what we do is that you're prepared for anything that happens day-to-day in life. You wouldn't be wearing a belt or knee sleeves, so therefore in the WODs, I wouldn't wear them. But that's just my view on it. Matt's got his. Matt will always be wearing knee sleeves. He'll always wear a belt. And he's a seriously much fitter guy than I am. Jordan. Fucking love Jordan, man. Such a good guy. Samurai face Jordan.
I really want to be Jordan's friend, but I don't want to kind of like come on to him.
Yeah, you don't want to lay it on too strong.
Yeah. I feel like
do you
know what I mean?
But he gets so much sex.
He does get so.
Does he get a lot of sex?
He's got to. He's just so nice.
So nice.
But he had a fight the other day.
No.
In a bar, apparently people started on him and he had a fight.
He's probably a really hard bastard, so only kidding with me, Jules. He's fucking ripped, mate. I could make him into an amazing gymnast. He wants to know what's a good app. He's just bought an Apple Watch. Good app to monitor your growth. What's a good app to use? Do you know one? I just use the calorie thing on my Apple Watch that comes with it. Like Zen Planner, you can log all your workouts. I don't know.
There's a new thing called Whoop. So it's WHOOP, which is an amazing monitor, like subscription service online now. It's like a membership thing. It costs you $30 a month, but it's the truest way of being able to monitor what you've got going on. So it's Whoop. Have a look into that. That literally is the thing that's taking over at the moment.
Okay, Crazy Eyes Mike Lake.
Mad Mike!
Mad Mike, yes. That's the name.
So
he was in a pain cave today, wasn't he?
He was so funny.
Oh, sorry about
He started over-repping himself.
Sorry, mate. I think that was
He's
it,
so
wasn't it?
yeah.
Just keep dropping down, Mike.
He's
so polite. He didn't want to say that he'd done it. I've actually finished. He's so English. Everything about him is English. He was too polite to tell me that he'd finished all his fucking reps. That's how great Mike is.
Dan's there shouting, Mike, just get your chest to the floor. He's like, okay.
Whatever you say. Mike wants to know, how do we gauge a calorie workout? What we've done, I kind of touched on that. It's great investment to get like an Apple Watch.
But they don't. So that doesn't really take into consideration the afterburn. So your central nervous system, obviously, with CrossFit, is going to take a lot more of a hit than what those watches are good at. Is calculating your heart rate with your body to be able to tell you, like thermogenically, what you've burnt calorie wise.
Right.
But as far as an actual workout is concerned, so yesterday we did the Rich Froning workout, 150 double unders, 25 deadlifts at 150 kilos, 150 double unders. Now that workout for me was 5 minutes long. So realistically, calorie wise, I'm not going to have looked to have burned that much. But because of the weight and because of the intensity, my afterburn from that will be massive.
Did you hear that fly just got caught in a thingy? We've got no buzzers and the fly just got caught in it. That was great. Sorry, go on, do it again.
Fucker. Yeah, but so it's the afterburn effect of CrossFit really. Then, it's not like you're just running on a treadmill. So if I were to run on a treadmill for 20 minutes, it would probably gauge me as burning more calories than what I did in that workout. But realistically, I will burn more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say on a minimum you're going to do 800 calories in a CrossFit class.
Yeah, easily.
That's roughly where you're going to do.
Especially
We
with
say
muscle
8
mass.
to 1200 calories, right? So I would say plan accordingly from that. The average man is a 2000 calorie diet, so you would be looking at 3-2. Right, that's pretty much a good way to have it. His other question was good post-workout food. He eats paleo with a calorie count.
Yeah, so especially if you're going to work, this is something that I hold dear to me, is like being able to look after your insulin. So after a workout, especially in here, you'll completely drain all your insulin out of your body. And it is obviously a hormone, and it's the way that we produce energy and the way that our body associates with energy. So post-workout, I would look at high insulin, low fructose, products. So maybe thinking about apricots, kiwis, strawberries, things like that. Sweet potato is okay, but it's not. It's got for me. It's got to be a fast burning, so it's got to be quicker in the way of fruits and things like that. Is good. But then also looking after like ligaments, joints, and tendons. So I would think about maybe getting some protein in there, but I wouldn't focus on that completely. I would more focus on your energy levels throughout the day, and then having some nuts and seeds in there as well. But having a small thing and then eating your meal afterwards is what I'd recommend. So coming in with some strawberries, coming in with some apricots, and then have that on the way to work. And then when you get to work, having your eggs and avo or whatever. And I would definitely recommend like leaving your carbs out then. So you've had your fast burning carbohydrates, which is obviously going to replace your insulin as quickly as possible. And then what you're able to do is then be able to go forward from that. What we're going to do actually is link a video that I did a long time ago about a perfect post-workout shake that I did with Jamie in the Jam. And we'll link it below if we can figure out how to do that. We'll put it in below and everybody will know.
Fuck is Jamie in the Jam?
Jamie Keith is one of my best friends.
And was that a CrossFit guy?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I know who that is.
Yeah, and you'll see it. It's actually quite cool because it's my DFC qualifier as well.
Don't know what that is either. Okay, so last but not least, I'm very unknown.
Dubai Fitness Championships.
Oh, brilliant! Right, Patrick, the hardest man in CrossFit. Patrick is the toughest guy. He will sacrifice every layer of skin on his shins to get a lift. He's like the. I love that guy. Hello, I'm here to CrossFit. What can I do?
Run into that wall.
Yeah, run into that wall. Excellent. Raw! I didn't go through it. Let me do it again. How do I push through a pancake? I think you pretty much do, Patrick. You do it yourself. All right, so there's a couple of ways to look at this because it's a really good fucking question, right? Because
your approach is way different to mine.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
I'll tell you what.
So naturally, if you're quite an angry person, you will push yourself through a pain cave a lot easier, right? But there's a few methods that I use that helps me get through it if I haven't got a coach screaming at me. One, get a gemma. That's a great way to push through a fucking pain cave. Stick my wife next to you and you'll get through that fucking pain cave. You just are too scared to stop. The other way to do it, and there's a few things. One, scream. It releases 20% of your pain threshold, increases your pain threshold by 20%. So screaming, letting out noise, swearing. It's that's why I'm really fucking vocal. I don't know if you noticed yet, and it gives you a 20% increase in your pain threshold.
Yeah, so it's like to build the height.
No. It's just genuinely me getting a higher pain threshold because I'm fucking hurting. The other way is to count down. Don't count up. All right, so counting down brings you towards your goal. Counting up is seen as getting away from your goal because you see it as a distance. Counting down means you're getting closer to something. So that's another way to count your reps. The other way to do it as well is to talk in your head about the movement that you're doing. So let's say, for example, burpees is a great example. So what I do is I'll say to myself, right, hands on the floor, lay on the floor, feet under my hands, stand up, small clap, hands on the floor, lay on the floor, feet under my hands, small clap. Now the problem with that is I forget to fucking count. But it works fucking wonders. Jump over the bar, down on the floor, get back up on the floor, clap. And that's, if you break it down and just talk to yourself what you're doing, rather than thinking about where you're at or thinking about your breathing and so on and so forth, it's very different. But having said that, this guy is now probably going to tell you about breathing and why I'm going to say that. I'm just going to grab this book that Sharon got me because I haven't started it yet. But Sharon's a pretty good go-to and you'll be really interested in this. That's upside down. She swears by this book here and it's about learning how to breathe. But then I'll pass you over to how you get over a pain threshold.
Well, so I always think pacing is the way forward. And like finding that pain. So classically recently we've had a bit of a qualifier for strength and depth where it started off with 30 push press, then burpees over the bar, then 30 front squats, then burpees over the bar, then 30 thrusters. And you can tell this guy as many times as you like to not go fast, but when he sees something he can do really, really well, he just goes. And the best comment was, I mean, you completely blew yourself out in that first bit. The best bit was, after this workout where he'd like really struggled towards the end just to breathe or to even open his eyes. It was like, how do you find it, mate? Well, I did the push press in 36 seconds.
The rest of it went to shit. But really fucking quick.
It was like, there was 6 movements and the first one took you 36 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah, I mean, for me, I personally will stick to my game, know that my 70-80% is where it is. And if it's a 5-minute workout, I will throw that against the wall and just hope for the best. If it's anything above that, I'll stick to my 75, 85, 90%. If it's kind of longer than that, then it's always going to be 70 to 80. But the way that you know that is through practice, and you've got to understand your body and everything else. But then, yes, breathing. Breathing is the fundamental part of CrossFit. If you ever want to be good at CrossFit, you need to understand your metabolic rate and you need to understand your heart rate. You need to understand how to breathe, control, and release. We do it a lot in the engine room. So it's 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, release for 8. So it's a very simple dynamic of how you do that. And that's obviously not going to work out in the middle of a workout.
I was going to say, but what about when you're going?
So you're in the middle of the workout, it's like understanding that you're probably going to be able to do 2. So it's that notion of, because if you think, if I'm going, my heart rate goes up.
Yeah.
But if I'm being able to oxidate properly and be able to, utilise that, and it'll calm my heart rate down. So that's the way I'd go for it.
Okay, one last thing that I want to touch on, which is a member who I really like here, is going to start training for the marathon, and has actually said, I want to do a marathon, so I won't be able to do both my membership and CrossFit and the marathon. I know, that's what I said, but can you explain, because you'll probably explain it better than I will, why CrossFit's going to help him 100% with regards to the marathon?
So there's a lot of studies come out about metabolic rate as far as aerobic conditioning is concerned. You want to be off those knees. You need to spend time on your feet, yes, 100%, but you want to spend time off those knees because you only want to be training twice a week with your running. What are you going to do for the rest of the time? You need that metabolic rate to be able to increase. You need to be able to understand.
He didn't know this question was coming, by the way. I've literally just fired that at him. And it's because I really like this guy. He could be a really good CrossFit.
But you need to understand your anaerobic and your aerobic system to be able to do a marathon, because it is obviously an aerobic system where you want to be running at 50 to 60% of your maximum. And you need to figure out what that is to be able to do that. And CrossFit is the quickest way of doing that. A lot of stuff in the engine room, we've created Graham from nothing, from doing 4,300 meters in 20 minutes to smashing a 5K in 19 minutes. Yeah. That's aerobic capacity, which is amazing. But the carryover that will have for the running is unbelievable, because obviously the heart rate is something that's so important. But also what I'd say is, yes, you want to do a marathon. I hate marathons. I categorically will never do a marathon. I think it is.
I've done London marathon.
I think it's an amazing achievement. Don't get me wrong, but I think that it's a dated achievement.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad for you. Your knees do not deserve all of that training. Your knees do not. It's not necessary. Do a marathon row. No, don't do a marathon row. But no. So yes, I mean, you want to do a marathon, great. But to look after all of those other parts of your body, this is the best place for it.
100%. And I'm saying that because I like you rather than any business aspects of it. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's quite a long one today. I hope I've answered all your questions. Thanks. Just to show you a good bit of pain threshold. Oh. Cheers, guys. See you later.